Okay. Mic check 1 2. It's the Y2K collector, and I am back with part 2 of my 2023 video game collection. And I just wanted to start this second part off by saying that I've been doing a lot of selling over the last year and a half, and that's because I really wanted to tailor and curate my collection. So if you watched part 1, you probably noticed a trend with a lot of the games in my collection, which was really that my collection is really made up of a lot of action games, right? So I've got a lot of action games. I've got a lot of shoot 'em up games, beat 'em up games, and that's because I really wanted to build a collection of games that are really fun and exciting. The types of games that I would have wanted to play on a Friday night or on a Saturday night if I was sleeping over one of my cousin's houses. And so, if you're at your cousin's house on a Friday night, you're probably not going to play a slow turn-based RPG. Some folks might, but I didn't grow up that way, right? On a Friday night, it was Street Fighter 2, Super Street Fighter 2. On a Friday night, it was, Tekken, Mortal Kombat. On a Friday night, it was, Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time, Shinobi. It was Altered Beast. It was, 2D action adventure games that were fast paced that you could beat in a couple hours before going to bed or before getting sent off to bed. So that's what you'll see in my collection. And I'm not going to do any more jabbering and blabbering. Let's get into part 2. So here, what you're going to see in this box is just a bunch of games that I'm currently playing right now. I want to start off by talking about this little device here. This is the 8BitDo gamepad, the SN30. This is actually a really good controller. I was a little skeptical at first because I don't really like buying third-party stuff. I just, I have a couple reproduction games here and there, but for the most part, I try to keep it OEM as best as I can. This is a really great controller, very good controller. I'm not really going to elaborate too much, but I've kind of played the heck out of these little analog sticks here, and mine have held up real tight. They're still very springy. And I've played games like Fury with this. I've played fighting games with this, old school games. This is a very good controller. Pick one up, wireless, it works great, and it'll still give you that nostalgic feeling. I also have my Switch Lite down here. It's got a bunch of downloaded games on that. And then just some of the games I'm playing. Ring Fit is a game I'm into. You've heard me talk a lot about Mighty Goose on my channel. Check this out. It's a good game. R-Type Final 2. Astral Chains, a very good game. Check this out, guys. That's a very good, that's like an action kind of RPG game. Everforward is just an interesting game, like a puzzle 3D platform type game. Crosscode is a really cool 2D top-down game. I want to get into this more. Just haven't had a chance to. Death's Gambit. This is a great Metroidvania style game. You got to look this one up. This is a good one. This is a sleeper. Hyrule Warriors. I've been playing that some. Carry On Metroidvania style. You fight as an alien. You all know about Dead Cells. Ys 8. I've talked about this a lot on my channel. And then on the PS4, I've been getting into some Berserk, Band of the Hawk. I'm going to sell this copy. Same with this Mega Man X, Immortals Phoenix. This is actually a pretty fun game. I slept on this game for a while, but this game is actually pretty fun. It's like easy, but it's fun, interesting enough. It's fun. Pretty cool graphics. Check this out. And it's really cheap. You could get this game for like $5 right now. And then Ghost of Tsushima. This game is pretty cool. Don't get this pre-owned for $44.99 when you can buy it sealed at Best Buy right now for $21.99. Go check it out, bestbuy.com. No affiliate links or nothing. I'm not getting paid for that, but I'm just putting you on. All right, so that's that. That's what I'm playing right now. Over here, I've got some interesting stuff. So I'm going to pause real quick. So what you're looking at here, yes, this is an action figure. I don't have a lot of action figures, but I do have about 3 or 4 Street Fighter action figures, just because Street Fighter means a lot to me. Played a lot of Street Fighter as a kid, both on the Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo, as well as the arcade. Certain characters are just, they take me right back to childhood, and E-Honda is definitely one of them. That 1,000-hand slap, brah, 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 brah. You guys know what I'm talking about. E-Honda, man. So I have this. I have a Ryu action figure, a Sagat action figure. I've got a few, and maybe one day I'll just make a video for those things. but I've got those stored away. Those are actually behind all of my DS games. So maybe I'll pull that out one day and we'll do a video on that. But for those who missed part 1, check it out. This is everything that was in part 1, along with some games on the floor, some controllers there. So check that video out. All right, so back here, I do have a few sealed in-box consoles. So we're going to start off first with the Sega CD. I actually have it out because I was playing it, but I do have a complete in-box Sega CD. Everything's in here, the manual, including the Sewer Shark game. So I do have that in here. I have a completely sealed PlayStation 4. I think I got this for like Christmas and just never opened it because I had one. So I have a brand new PlayStation 4, complete in-box PlayStation 4. This is my Ring Fit box. I have a complete in-box Dreamcast, which I got in a trade. That was actually a pretty cool trade. And then I have this almost like brand new PlayStation 2. I think this also has an extra PlayStation 2 controller, a black PlayStation 2 controller in there. It's crazy. I got this on Mercari for $100, and it came with like 15 games, including Silent Hill, the first one. It's sick. That's probably like the best deal I ever got on Mercari. All right, so that takes care of all of the sealed in-box consoles. Now we're going to get to this pretty, power pack shelf here. So let's start it off with another complete in-box console that I have in my collection. So I have this GameCube players. Remember when I was showing you guys down here, I have a GameCube with the Game Boy player. You need the disc to play that. So that allows you to play Game Boy Advance games. So I do have that there. This is a brand new Nintendo GameCube, still with the KB toy sticker on it. Never opened this or played this. Have it in my collection there. Also have a complete, this isn't brand new, but it is complete in box. It's a NeoGeo Pocket Color. All the manuals, everything is in here. This came out when I was like in junior high. So much nostalgia for this console right here. Along with the NeoGeo Pocket, I have a copy of Metal Slug First Mission, as well as a copy of Bust a Move. This is almost kind of like Bubble Bobble, if you've played Bubble Bobble. Yeah, pretty much like that. Almost like a puzzle shooting game. And then here you have Metal Slug Second Mission, complete in box. Do have this in the collection. This one is pretty cool because this is the version of Metal Slug on the NeoGeo Pocket where they actually do voice. Like you hear them say heavy machine gun when he picks it up, whereas like in the first one, there's really not much talking at all. So this one feels a little bit more closer to like a console version of Metal Slug. So that's my small NeoGeo collection. We'll take a look at my small GameCube game collection, starting with my copy of Billy Hatcher for the GameCube. I do have Robbie Ribby, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. This is a recent pickup. Wario World, Ikaruga. Yeah, that's a good one. Chaos Field is a sleeper. If you like shoot 'em ups, I love my shoot 'em ups. I gotta have at least 2 on a console. Ikaruga and Chaos Field are 2 shoot 'em ups that I got here. Smash Bros. Melee, for sure I had to have that in the collection. Sonic Gems collection, Bait and Kados. I have this because there's a version of, there's like a Tails game that was on the Game Gear. That this is a way that you can play that game. I think it's like Tails Adventure. But yeah, Ultimate Spider-Man, Star Fox Adventures. This is one of the first games I got for the GameCube when I got my GameCube way back in the day. So that's what you're looking at here. As far as GameCube games, I do have this Pinkberry Game Boy Color, super clean. I was tempted to sell it, but I was like, can't sell it. It's like almost brand new. So kept this in the collection. I do have a copy of Super Mario Land 3 with it. And then I'm not going to take it out, but this is a complete in-box, like new analog pocket. I only took it out to test it like 1 or 2 times. Put it right back because I plan on getting the adapter to be able to play like other consoles and then, download some games. But I do have an analog pocket, so definitely happy to have that in the collection. And then I guess we'll look at some of the games on the shelf here finally, right? So a copy of Phantom Breaker. This is a limited edition copy for the PS Vita. Then over here, you've got Phil Soma. This is a shooter on the PlayStation. Pretty cool shooter. Nothing to write home about. It's upside down. Look at me. So pretty cool shooter here. Nothing to write home about, but it's interesting. Interesting viewpoint. I think it changes perspectives as you play the game. So Phil Soma on the PlayStation. And then over here is where I have all of my Sega Saturn and Sega CD games. So starting off with House of the Dead on the Sega Saturn. That's an interesting one. I think I'm going to sell that because I'm not really super into that game. Dark Savior, I've had that game for a while. X-Men Children of the Atom. This is a game that I played in the arcade every weekend when I would go to band practice. There was a corner store that used to sell candy and had that arcade. Guardian Heroes, this is sick. I talked about Guardian Heroes on the Game Boy Advance. This is like this is probably one of the best top 3 beat 'em ups in my collection, period. That's my opinion. Burning Rangers is a really cool game that I wanted. This is a 3D action platforming game on the Sega Saturn. This is probably one of the most expensive games in my collection. Three Dirty Dwarves, a really interesting kind of hood, kind of beat 'em up. Let me move this. Hold on. I'm being cheap. I'm not sure. I'm really showing you guys these games. Let me pull these out, man. All right. So I'll go through the notable ones right here. So Guardian Heroes. If you've never played this game, check out Guardian Heroes. It's just like a really cool beat 'em up where you can like gain EXP points. Sorry, so many lights in here. I'm trying to dodge the glare for y'all. All right, there it goes. Boom. So yeah, I mean, just check it out. So you can like build your attributes of your player, increase their strength, their skills. You can do combos in this game. You can do air combos as you fight in this game. You can level up, gain EXP points. Just a very, very cool beat 'em up. So Guardian Heroes, that's a notable one in my collection. The other notable one that I just mentioned, Burning Rangers. Like I said, this is probably top 3 most expensive games in my collection. Very, very cool game. Check this out. Look up some YouTube footage on that game. Very interesting one. Then over here in my Sega CD collection, I've got Vey and Lunar 2. I just picked these 2 up in a trade, so that's probably the only reason they're in my collection. Lords of Thunder and Robo Alesti, 2 amazing shoot 'em ups. Love these games. I played this for 2 weeks straight. The Terminator and then Android Assault is another shoot 'em up that's pretty cool. You can change between a mech and a spaceship in that game. Very, very cool game. So that takes care of this shelf. Let me put these 2 bad boys back on the shelf here. And like, as I put these back, I mean, look, I've never really wanted to complete and pick up all the games for any particular console. Like I said, a lot of the games in my collection are really meant to be Friday night action-packed games. So House of the Dead, right? Children of the Atom, Guardian Heroes. These are games that I could spend a couple hours playing and then say, you know what, let's go ahead and try to beat 3 Dirty Dwarves. And, it just becomes one of those things where it's like, how many games can you beat in one weekend? So these are just some really fun games that I would, want to definitely do that with. So now moving down to this shelf. So this is where my PlayStation 2 collection is. These are all of my PlayStation 2, Xbox 360, and Game Boy Advance games. It's crazy because this is probably like a 10th of what my PlayStation 2, Game Boy Advance, and Xbox collection used to be. I just wound up weeding out a lot of, unfortunately, I sold a lot of good games that I kind of wish I could get back. But there was a lot of fluff in there. So let's first look at the Xbox One games because that's the smallest group. And this here, so what you've got is Demon Turf. This is an interesting game. I haven't seen this on any other console. And this is like a very cool looking 3D platforming game, which we don't see a lot of good ones in that genre. But look at the art style. I'm wondering why this isn't on the PlayStation 4 or on the Switch, but this game is super interesting, and I really have an Xbox. This is one of the biggest reasons why I even have an Xbox One. Here, of course, Attack on Titan 2 Final Battle. You all know about this. This is the Attack on Titan 2 with all the DLC on it. So that's the reason, another big reason why I have an Xbox One. Then you have the first Attack on Titan in the series. And then one of my pride and joys, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I think there was only like a few of these made on the PS4 and the Xbox One. And I think it comes with like this pretty cool like art book. Yeah, because the Xbox One doesn't come with many art books. And I picked this up. It's funny, I picked this up at a GameStop and I was like, wow, to see that it had the art book and in such good condition. Yeah, it's like a comic book that comes with this one. So this is like this is a special edition one. If you ever happen to run into this Marvel vs. Capcom, pick that up. Don't sleep. But yeah, grab that there. So that's my Xbox One collection, right? Super small. Then I have my 360 collection. I have some really cool games in here that I like. So Ken's Rage 2, that's a good one. Raiden Fighters, Edge of Time, Spidey, and then Family Guy. So some cool ones there. What else we got here in my 360 collection? Knight's Contract, Gundam 3, Alice, Madness Returns, and Spidey, old Spider-Man at Shattered Dimensions. So yeah, this is another good one. Man, these Spider-Man games are sick. They just keep getting better and better. I haven't picked up Spider-Man 2 yet, but I heard that it's pretty good. One of my favorite Xbox 360 games, just from a gameplay and graphics perspective, Azura's Wrath. If you've never heard of this game, don't sleep. Check this out. One of the biggest reasons why I kept my Xbox 360. This game is sick all the way around. Azura's Wrath, play it. Lollipop Chainsaw, another good one. Akai Katana. Now, they just released this. I think Limited Run just re-released this. Or somebody re-released this on the Switch and the PlayStation 4. But this is a pretty cool, like, bullet hell shooter. So if you see it, pick it up. It's a pretty good one. And then last but not least, Spider-Man Web of Shadows. So I've got all those Spider-Man games on the 360. One of the biggest reasons why I have and kept it. My PlayStation 2 collection is a little bit bigger. Still not all of the games I used to have, but we'll fly through these. So some notable ones, obviously Blood Will Tell. Disaster Report is actually a really sick game. Check that out. Drakengard 2, Mobile Suit, Gundam, Klonoa 2, Suikoden 5, Shadow Hearts, Dual Hearts, Forever Kingdom. This is a very good looking like action RPG. Like the bulk of the RPGs in my collection are on the PlayStation 2, and I love ones like this one, Forever Kingdom. Don't sleep on this. Check that one out. Sorry, let me keep it going. Red Ninja, I gotta play this. I need to get this out and play it. Red Ninja, Under the Skin. Ah, yes. This got me through undergrad. Marvel vs. Capcom 2, A New Age of Heroes. Yeah, this was like, yeah, this game means a lot. I have this on the Dreamcast as well, but we'll get to that. But the Dreamcast was where I played this game in high school, but in college was where I played it on the PlayStation 2. And the truth is, it was much easier to play on the PlayStation 2 because the PlayStation had a better controller than the Dreamcast. Like, trying to do air combos on that daggone Dreamcast controller, darn near killed my hand. So thank God it came out on the PlayStation 2. All right, let's keep it going. God Hand, another cool beat 'em up. SNK versus Capcom. Gradius is a cool shooter. Predator. This is an actually a knocked down some Game Boy Advance games. Sorry, y'all. I'll pick that back up. We're gonna get to the Game Boy Advance games in a second here. Crimson Tears. This is actually a pretty cool. This is like a cool 3D like action adventure game. Silent Hill 2. I only have these Silent Hill games because I find them at like thrift stores or I pick them up in lots. So Silent Hill 2 is a game. I found that in a Goodwill, actually, a couple years ago. Dokapon Kingdom, Graffiti Kingdom, two cool ones. Final Fight Streetwise. What else we got in here? Mega Man X Command Mission. That's a cool RPG that I got. Futurama. This is one of my more rare PlayStation 3 games. I'm glad to have that in my collection. Samurai Western. Don't sleep on that. This is a sick one. Yeah, Samurai Western is pretty tight. I know a lot of people talk about Blood Will Tell, but you guys got to check this one out. This one's just as fierce. It's an Atlas game too. What else we got? Xenosaga 3. I just picked that up in a trade. Yeah, so that's the PlayStation 2 collection. I know I just dropped some Game Boy Advance games, but let's talk about the Game Boy Advanced collection here. So First off, I do have a Game Boy Micro. This was another console I had in college as well. This is so sick because you could just slide this like in your pocket. Even if you had skinny jeans, you could just slip this in your pocket and you were good to go out the door. So I do have a Game Boy Micro. I do have a very clean, or at least it was clean. It's gotten a few scratches. What's in here? Turtles 3. Okay. So I do have a pretty cool DSi. I like this Nintendo. I really like this one. I wish there were more features on it. I wish they didn't limit it, but I like the form factor of this DS console. And then last but not least, I do have this complete in box, but I have it out just because I do play games on this. But this is my impeccable 3DS. Glad to have it in the collection. So those are some of the handhelds that I have in the collection. And then when it comes to the Game Boy Advance games, as you can see here, so Kirby Dream Land, this is a dope Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle beat 'em up. Don't sleep, pick that up. I've got all the Castlevanias that you can see there. R-Type 3, yes, that's a good shoot 'em up. Phalanx is a good shoot 'em up. This should have been the cover on the Super Nintendo too. I think instead there's a guy with a banjo or something. Jazz the Jackrabbit, don't sleep. That's a sleeper action platformer on the Game Boy Advanced. Nightmare Before Christmas, Final Fight 1. This is like the Sega CD version, just on Game Boy Advance. Contra Advanced, Blender Bros. This is really good graphics on this game. Also good graphics, Klonoa 2. Sick beat 'em up. You need to play this at least one time. This is like a beat 'em up on the Game Boy Advanced, and every boss battle is like you fight in like this like Street Fighter 2 style. It's pretty sick, and you could do air combos. Love it. Ghouls and Ghosts, Asteroid Boy, very good one. Double Dragon. The Shaman King games are actually really good on the Game Boy Advance. Check those out. Of course, Metroid, gotta have that. This is a very good looking Kirby game, the Dreamland, and it's like, this is actually like an action, it's kind of like an action beat 'em up platformer kind of style in this Kirby game. Don't sleep. Gunstar Heroes Advanced, very, very cool. You know, I gotta have my run and gun shooters on the Game Boy Advance, so that's why you see those there. All right, moving it right along. Whew. So this is where the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4 content begins. Here you can see some PlayStation 3 games. A notable one, Under Defeat. That's like a helicopter style shoot 'em up. Killer is Dead is a good one. Hunt Down, Collector's Edition. This comes with an action figure. I think I got not the Cyborg and not the lady, but the other guy. That's the action figure that I got in that. Splatterhouse on the PS3, Folklore, Afro Samurai. These are games that I just had to have. And then Flynn, Son of Crimson. I've talked about that game before. I have it on the Switch. Fist Forge and Shadow, Sifu, and Berserk and the Band of the Hawk. That is my better copy of Berserk and the Band of the Hawk. I am playing a copy of Berserk right now. This is the copy that I'll probably sell. They still carry that game in some GameStop, so if you find it, pick it up. It's a good game. It's like a $60 game. And then you have more PS3 goodness. Blades of Time, one is a standout. That's a standout one. Trinity is another good one. Fist of the North Star, Ken's Rage. I showed you part 2 of that on the 360. Mutants in Manhattan. I really just like that Ninja Turtles game. It's a really good one. Shattered Dimensions and then Drakengard 3 are what round out that top shelf. And then here are my PlayStation handhelds. So I have the first model of the PS Vita. I have a bunch of download games on this, including Klonoa, Herc's Adventure, and Adventures of Trombone. This is a slim Vita that I picked up at a pawn shop a couple years back. And I've had this PSP for a few years now. This is where I play all my PSP games. So this is my PlayStation handheld collection. And then this is the second row of my PS4 collection. So as you can see, just more action games, a few standout ones. Skull, this is a really cool 2D action platformer. Gravity Rush, I've talked about that game to death. Odin Sphere, of course. Back to the Future 3 is sick. Rez, this is the VR version of Rez. This is like a virtual reality shoot 'em up. You gotta play that game, Rez. Gravity Rush. I've got let's see, Assault Suit Lanos is like a mech warrior style shoot 'em up. Here, let's get in here. Assault Suit Lanos, Darius Burst, Fist of the North Star, blasphemous, one of the best 2D action side-scrolling games in my collection. Battle Garega. This is a port from the Sega Saturn. This is a very cool shoot 'em up. And then I've this row rounds out with the Ys 8 and 9 games, as well as Star Ocean and Mutants in Manhattan. So that takes care of that shelf. And then we're already at 25 minutes, so we're going to have to wrap. And then looks like we may have to have 4 parts to this series. So here on this bottom shelf is just more PlayStation 4 goodness. As you can see, some notable ones: Attack on Titan 2 and Tokyo Xanadu, Ghost of Tsushima, Ninja Saviors, Valfaris, a very cool 2D run-and-gun shooter. If you've never... Let me pull this out. If you've never heard of Valfaris, check this out. It's like a side-scrolling rock and roll style shooter. It's a very cool game. Check that one out. And what else do we have here? Ray Crisis. I've got a good amount of beat 'em ups and shoot 'em ups. Double Dragon Gaiden, Ray Storm. Ray Storm X Ray Crisis. So yeah, pick that up. I might have both of these games on the PlayStation 1. Ray Storm and Ray Crisis. It's a long series that extends into the Sega Saturn too, but yeah, so just some cool ones. Ninja Saviors. You've heard of this one, obviously. Another beat 'em up retro style. Then down here, just some of my more basic games, some standout ones. You've got here Deception 4, Deadpool. Let's see here. Dangun Feveron. Sorry for the poor lighting. So Dangun Feveron is one that stands out here. I'll pull that one out. This is a standout shoot 'em up that we've got here. Also, Within the Blade. This is like a very cool ninja style platformer. Plays a little bit like The Messenger. So if you like The Messenger, you might like this game as well. So Within the Blade, check that out. Let's see, we've got Stray, Streets of Rage 4, Chasm. Yes, gotta show you all this every chance I get. The Mighty Goose. You guys gotta pick this game up. It's really cool. Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time. I've got a couple Castlevania games, Elden Ring. So you can just see down here how it winds down. Robbie Ribby is a good one, so look that one up. Record of Lodos War, Deedlith and Labyrinth, I think is how that game is said. So a couple cool PS4 games. I'm going to do just like a PS4 collection video, because I'm not doing the PS4 justice right now. I really owe it to you guys to like do a full PS4 collection. So, and I'm also going to be doing a holiday buying guide, because there's a lot of really good deals right now on a lot of these PlayStation 4 games. If you check out like Best Buy and like GameStop, like for instance, like you can pick up Ninja Saviors for 15 bucks. You could pick up Ray Storm right now for like 20 bucks. Double Dragon, 15 bucks. You can pick this game up for. So there's a lot of really cool deals going on right now. I'll put you guys onto that in a little bit. All right, so let's finish the video out, because geez, we're at 28 minutes. Sorry, I didn't want this to be that long. So next up is an original Game Boy. This is the first console I ever got. So I have to have this in my collection. I can't have a collection and not have an original Game Boy. That'd just be blasphemous. Of course, also on that day, I got this game here, Super Mario Land. So these two will always be in my collection, because my older brother bought me these. So that means a lot. All right, Metroid 2. Spent many nights as a 10-year-old trying to beat this game. Very difficult game. Metroid holds a place in my heart. Batman. I got this game because my cousins had it, and I always wanted it. And every time I was around them, I wanted to play it. Darkwing Duck. Another game I had to get because my cousins had it. They always had the cool Game Boy games. Mega Man 2. This was a game that I bought. Once I was able to like start saving allowance, this is one of the first games that I bought, Mega Man 2. Then I had to go back and buy the first one. I just don't have it in my collection, unfortunately. And Battle Unit Zeoth is one that I have. Just because I love these mech shoot-em-up style games, I kept this in my collection. I had way more Game Boy games, but I sold the rest of them. This is my AGS 101. It's not in the best condition. I'm looking for an upgrade, so I may try to find one that's cleaner. But it is a pretty clean AGS 101. And then last but not least is my Game Boy Advanced. Kept this one in the collection because, like I said, it's super duper clean. And that does it. That does it, everyone, for part 2 of the game collection. Just wanted to kind of go over this second shelf between the Sega Saturn and the GameCube and stuff. Let me know if you have any of these games. Let me know if any of these games stand out to you. Hopefully you enjoyed part 2. I will be back with part 3, going over the wall of Switch with everyone. So we'll stick around and we'll come back with part 3. Thanks for stopping by. I am the Y2K Collector. Take it easy.